I probably did. So.
What it do, good people. Coming to y'all live from Taz TV 410. I'm your host, Taz Ding, my co-host, Dante Jones. I tell you, you know what? Let me sit back. And Kings, can y'all speak y'all name?
Herb Estep.
That
the great one. The great one.
The greatest, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Already. Now listen here, man. Y'all, we back at it again. Guys, we spoke a little bit, but I gotta get something off my chest, right? Before I give y'all the floor. And y'all heard me. I've been throwing little bits and pieces out since Herb interview, right?
Yeah.
And this not saying that we had communication talk about this, but I'm thinking about all the players that went down there, that went to Dunbar, that Herb sent down there, and all the championships that was won down there. So I asked, I said, do you have a championship ring? No. Do you even have a jacket? Do you even have a state championship? No. So my question is, I don't know who could take the lead to it, but I know the Dunbar, the cookouts and all this is coming up soon. It's getting warm outside. I think it need to be a meeting at these cookouts. Because this need by this time next year, he should even have a coat or a ring. I say a ring. You know what I'm saying? We can start a donation.
It's too easy. That's too easy. Like I say, I'm gonna tell you on my standpoint, because like I say, he was the Pied Piper in creating that pipeline. That's a must. You know what I mean? I ain't never got no Dunbar jacket, so I'm gonna need to get one over myself.
I know. I don't got no.
Yeah, but the ring, listen, because I just thought about, because I gave my ring to my pops, but listen, that we gonna make that happen, because like I say, what you saying, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, in everything you have, there's a catalyst or something that starts it. You know what I mean? And Dunbar right now would never have been what it turned out to be without that pipeline coming from her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything he said, you know what I mean? It was very few of us, like I say, a lot of us went straight to varsity. Some of us did play JV, but he prepared us.
Mm-hmm.
We were so prepared for high school. You know what I mean? It was nothing. Like, it wasn't nothing we wasn't ready to face. You know, so like I say, he was the catalyst. So I 100% agree, and that's gonna happen.
Already. Gary, you like to add something?
Yeah, I agree like 2,000%. I'm one of the players that I didn't play for Northwood.
Right.
So my story a little different. My brother played 12-14. My brother was Craig Hinton. He played when Herb was coaching at Island, and they played down Kurt Field. Coach Herb know what I'm talking about. When the games was down Kurt Field. Mm-hmm. And I think that was right before Herb came to Northwood. My brother was a real good quarterback. He ran the option and stuff like that. And that's when I first came across Coach Herb. Mm-hmm. And I played at Rosedale. So I was a standout player at Rosedale. And Coach Herb recognized that when I was younger. And he was one of the guys who used to try to get me to Northwood. But when I came to Northwood, that's a whole nother story. But when I came to Northwood, they put me on that damn waiting list.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up going back to Rosedale, but I always hung at Northwood because I had friends, I had family there, and I got some other stories and stuff because I sent some players there and stuff myself. But I told you this story, Taz. It was always I remember it was like 9-11 years, and I played for Rosedale. We knocked off Northwood out Rosedale in a night game. And only voice that I always remember was Coach Herb. I told you should have kept that boy. I told you. I always remember that to this day. And I told you that story, Taz, and that always stuck in me. And I'm grown now, but that stuck in me as a youngster because it was like, that's how I felt. Like, man, y'all should have kept me. But he one of them players that I talked about, like, man, if somebody did something to Coach Herb, I'm one of them players, people that were like, man, I would break your neck if you try to touch Coach Herb, because the impact that he had on the community, what he did, with conversations that he had with me off the field. I coached, he's like a mentor, tell me things. I seen him during the COVID season. I had a little team that was traveling, and I was playing at DeWeese. This was like a few months back, and Coach Herb walked across the field, and I was teaching something. I wasn't teaching the fundamentals. And Coach Herb looked at me. He ain't never stopped. He never even stopped. He said, "You know better than that, man. You know better than that. You know, you know better than that. You know, we don't teach nothing like that. You better get back to the fundamentals." And that's the impact that he had on me. I'm like, "Oh, man, this Coach Herb. Let me get right." You know what I'm saying? So the impact that he had on people then and the impact that he had now, you know, he more than deserving to be a part of that, because all the players that came, like Mel Rock and all of them, like Mel Rock played with me at Rosedale. They all of them went to play with Coach Herb. You know what I'm saying? All of us was friends and family, and like, you know, Herb was like a father or a big brother or uncle to all of us, even off the field.
Now hold up. My fault to interject now, guys, and Gary and Tay, and we will get to you, Coach. Now you even saying that? See how now the powers that be, Baltimore Shakers, you're listening. Now you done heard it how he said he's there for basically he's another father figure, another uncle. You hearing all the things and the impact that he had on kids, even to men today. So why is he not on a coaching staff? You see what I'm saying? Why a president like that not in a school?
Well, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go first. I think my personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, I think it's a little intimidation.
That's mine.
You know what I'm saying? Because the man carried power. Like you know, like I said, I watched the interview, and some people they're calling this football. Mm-hmm. Like he said, nobody taught him this. This is what God put him to do. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why he here. So God put this man in the person. And some people shine. Some people got that shine and glow. And whenever you came to a game, and this funny, like I'm 44 years old. I'm gonna say my age. I'm 44 years old, and I used to leave my games when I was little. And Coach Andrew, I lived in the neighborhood with Coach Andrew. Y'all know Coach Andrew. Coach Andrew lived in my neighborhood. I played for another team. Coach Andrew would come and get us. Herb would come out to the games. He would have his flip-flops on before the game. Like he casual, he slick. He had a persona about it. He had a swag about it. Mm-hmm. This man was standing. I was on the sideline and called his first play out, 80 fly. You know what I mean? He was, and the people that gravitated to him, the kids, the family, the fathers, you know what I'm saying? The impact that he had, I think some high school, it's so political. I think some high schools would be intimidated. Well, I'm gonna just say our high school is kind of intimidated by that, because it's a lot of guys down there that really not true dumb ball guys. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Dante or somebody take over. Like, for instance, we played Fort Hill in our first state championship. I don't know if it's still like this today, but if you didn't play for Fort Hill or you was a Fort Hill guy, you cannot coach on a Fort Hill staff. And I'm like, this man then fed dumb ball for years. We all know that. You know, I'm a football junkie. He done fed dumb ball for years.
Yes.
He deserved damn near a statue. You know what I'm saying? Not only a ring, a statue. This man is one of the powers of dumb ball football. Like, and it's mentioned amongst us, like Dante and people like this, and maybe Coach Herb don't know this, but amongst our conversations, we always bring up Coach Herb. You know what I'm saying? We wanted Coach Herb down there when Pete was leaving, to be honest. I don't even know if Coach Herb knows this. We wanted Coach Herb to come down there when we found out that Coach Pete was leaving. You know what I'm saying? We wanted Herb to be the head coach because we knew the talent that we had. We knew what he brought to us. Mm-hmm. And Herb is the type of guy, he ain't gonna play around with you. You know, we don't need no soft coach at dumb ball. We need a guy that's gonna push you to the limit and make us men. And he's the type of person that makes people men. You know, he's a man's man. You know, he's an alpha male. When he come in the room, he gets to shine. He got that glow about him. But you go ahead and take over, Tato.
But see, like I say, one of the things is the way things are going right now is everybody want to be surrounded by things that make them still shine. You know, one thing I learned, Coach, on Herb's staff, Herb had coaches on his staff. Big Dog, he had coaches on his staff. You know what I mean? It wasn't no, I'm Herb, and then it's everybody else. No, he had coaches. So when I got my staff, I wanted coaches on my staff. A lot of people don't want that. A lot of people always want to be the authority figure. I want to be the figurehead. So as long as I keep stuff around me that is lower than me, I'll shine.
Right.
You put Herb on anybody's staff, you have to step your game up.
Right.
People want that, you know, because you just not gonna come at and say something crazy with somebody like Herb on your staff. You gonna have to no. You gotta step in. A lot of people don't want to do that. They always want to seem like they are the alpha male.
Alpha male, right.
A lot of
intimidation.
Yeah, that's what it is. But pretty much it's a lot of intimidation because people can't handle a challenge. But people understand that's the best thing about the one thing about even our defense when we was in high school, and Gary can attest this, we argue in our huddle every huddle.
Yeah.
So you gotta come to huddle. We cuss. I mean, we going because that right there made everybody greater. So we, a coach like Herb on staff, that's what the fear, what you fear is what will make you better. But a lot of people scared because when you ask somebody like that around you and it's time to talk football, you just can't talk no bullshit.
Right.
To be able to bring something to the table.
Right.
A lot of folks want to just go in with the stuff they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They went off of kids' talent.
Right.
First thing you do to a child is how he came to you is the same way he leave you, or even worse.
Right.
And a lot of people gonna miss that.
Right.
However a child come to you, he should leave you better.
Mm-hmm.
That means even if he's a star,
mm-hmm.
you can't let a star come to you and then just leave as a star. He gotta leave as a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People don't realize that. They rather just take, I'm just gonna ride off what you got. No. Yo, the Herb that sent me stars. He sent me Curl Washington. He sent me Jerry Lovelock. They were stars. But we gotta give him something more.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Curl came, and think about this. People don't realize this. Curl came to us and won a state championship for playing quarterback. Guess what he graduated playing?
What?
Wide receiver. You know why? Because the competition breeds greatness. You had Curl, then you had a 6'12" Jerry Lovelock. I knew, and as a staff, we knew that Curl's ticket to the next level was either receiver or DB. I'm going to ride him at quarterback when I know at the next level he's not going to play quarterback. And a lot of coaches are scared to make the right decision because I'm not going to put a kid. I had a kid named Sterling Jones. Well, I'm going to put him at linebacker, and he'd have had 5,000 tackles.
Yeah, I remember Sterling. Yeah.
Jones was 5'9", 5'10". He not playing linebacker nobody college. So you learn how to play the position that you're going to play. He dominated the CIW at safety. But see, a lot of people or coaches are scared to do that. No, I need him to put him where he can win for me. Is he winning for you? Is he winning for himself?
Right.
You can't tell a college coach, this kid can play receiver for you, but he played quarterback for me. Play this for you. No. If he ain't playing for you, how you gonna play that for me? That's what the college coach is saying.
Right.
But saying coaches don't understand that.
Now, Coach Herb, how you feel about the conversation what's going on right now? Not to throw you on the spot like that, but you on the spot, you know what I'm saying? You've been in the talk of the town for the last since you've been on.
Ever.
I ain't been the talk of the town. I've only been the talk of the town with those who've been around me. The town didn't talk about me. It was those who played for me and who were around me. Because if I was the talk of the town, I'd have had one of them jobs. All the jobs I had, I rode somebody else's coattail. If you weren't a friend of mine, then I couldn't get a job with you. Everybody who I coach with, they came out of my stable. They knew me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
what's some of the misconceptions people might have about you, Coach? Some of the misconceptions people might have about you. Because you hearing your players, and I didn't play for you, Gary didn't play for you, but you see the respect that you garner around here. Like, talk to me a little bit.
Man, I just did my thing. I just did my, like I said before, people who looked at me, coach, from the outside looking in, all they thought was I was a yeller and a screamer and I was mean. They didn't know my kids love me and my kids had fun. We had more, we hardly ever practice 2 hours a day. We ain't practice no 2 hours a day. They came and we did what we had to do, and they went on and they were kids. They did what 14-year-olds did.
Now, what do some might say today? I know the answer, but some might say today the kids is different, coach.
Kids aren't different. Us adults.
You old school. They don't do it like that no more. You can't talk to the kids like that no more.
No, the kids aren't different. It's us adults are different.
Mm-hmm.
We got to take our game back. Our game is a hard-nosed sport. So how you gonna play a hard-nosed sport if you ain't hard-nosed?
Being passive.
And that's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of that it's a lot of money into the game too right now. I feel like they wore down all the sports right now. It's not as bad as basketball yet, but you can't play defense.
Why you can't? Who said you can't?
Hold on, the cornerbacks can't put their hands on the wide receiver. What? I'm talking about in college. I'm talking about the college rule.
No, the college rule that's the NFL rule. The college rule just like high school. You can the ball there.
You all that. The game ain't changed. We changed. What would I care if you got a 15-yard penalty for something? I don't care.
He's taking this. Is what I take 15 over 6. I live by that to this day as a player.
I take 15. Give me 15.
I take 15 over 6.
Don't give me that 5-yard one. Give me the 15. I'll take 15. Mm-hmm. I'm more mad at you for the 5-yard one. Mm-hmm. Give me that 15. That 15 will set the message.
Set the tone.
Now look again. Hey, Gary, I'm coming to you because you the Rosedale guy over here. And I gotta let you talk because you heard the last panel, and I need you to set some things straight right now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So
they got us a couple times, but we.
My thing was, I grew up in the neighborhood, like I said, with Coach Andrew. We had the Nate Browns, Todd Gross, Sherman, Clyde. I forgot their last name, Clyde. Jerome Gross. We had a whole bunch of Norfolk guys. I lived off of Sinclair Lane and on Boldy's Lane. They called it the Dude Ranch, Truesdale area. The older guys know the 20 grand.
Van Drew. Van Drew.
Yes, sir.
Van Drew was the second best back I ever had.
Say it again.
Van Drew was the second best back I ever had.
I know who the first was.
Right. So,
hey, Coach, can you talk up my fault, Gary? Because we gonna come back to Gary. You can keep going, but we gotta come back to Van Drew.
All right. So I'm gonna bring that up. So man, we had this community. So we had a whole bunch of athletes. Had people play for Overly and all this. So my thing was, I wanted to play with the guys because we played bone ball. Like our bone ball games was like championship games. That's like street ball. We played sometimes in equipment and stuff. Our bone ball games was tougher than rec ball games. I'm talking about we had all mixture. Like I just named some guys, Van Drew, Donnell here. We all, and I'll get to that in a second. So me coming from where I came from, actually how it started, I'm gonna do a quick little summary. It started from a white guy named Bill Mount. Bill Mount coached Murray Darkness, Wayne Washington, Marty House, Jody Laws, my brother Craig Hinton, a guy named Drac. Whole bunch of guys, Raul Jackson from City, whole bunch of guys came from Murray Docks. Murray Docks, the lady had died, and he took everybody to Rosedale. That's how we got to Rosedale from the hood, because we couldn't get to no damn Rosedale.
Because Murray Docks used to be up Parkside.
Yes, sir. So he was Parkside was right across the street from where we was at. So we played there. So when it moved the whole group to Rosedale. That's how we got to Rosedale. Now, Coach Andrew was a cornerstone in our community, and he was a Northwood guy, had all the patches up and down the sleeve, and he would get everybody from the neighborhood. Then you had Overly coming in there, picking up some people, whatever. So my thing was, I knew I could compete with these guys because I competed with them every day in street ball and stuff like this, and I was dominating them, whatever. So I wanted to play with the guys, but every time I went out there, it was some BS. So my brother wound up leaving Rosedale, going down, and playing for Northwood. He wound up being a quarterback for the 12-14 right before Herb got there. That was when they had Coach Herb was at Iowa. They had a guy, the boy Black Van, and all them was at Madison. I don't know if y'all remember them, but big tall Van, and had the little kid Darnell that wound up playing quarterback for Northern. Darnell.
Oh yeah.
Darnell, all them was at Northwood. All them was at Northwood. So my brother was the quarterback. So I said, man, I want to play for Northwood, but I every time I go out there, they had the waiting list. You know, they had Nikita and Clarence and Antoine and Ricky Dangerfield, Jimmy Fields, and you know what I mean, the list go on. They had all these guys. Every time I go out there, I'm competing with them, but they would give me the little ugly helmet and all that. I'm like, man, I can't wear this soy. I said, I need a bike. Like, they got a bike. I need a bike.
Stewie.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but I knew I was a ball player because at an early age, and I heard Coach Herb say this the other day, I had a gift from God because I knew all the positions at an early age, like 7, 8 years old. I knew where everybody's supposed to be doing. I had a high IQ. I watched football all day long on tapes. Back then, we had the VCR tapes. So I knew. So coming from Rosedale, I knew we had some guys. So we had some guys, and it was only a few teams that could compete with Northwood. That was Rosedale,
Hanlon Park. That's it.
Then maybe third was like Columbia here and there, but it was just Rosedale and Hanlon Park. As far as 12-14, it was just Northwood and Hanlon Park. You know what I'm saying? Because Rosedale ain't really had no 12-14. But as far as the other age groups, I knew that we can bump with them. So we would knock them off from here and there. Like I said, we went out there. My highlight was when we knocked them off in that playoff game, 9-11. And Coach Herb was out there walking across the field. I told y'all should have kept that boy, and that right there. Like I said, yeah, they should have kept me. So I was gonna go the next year, like, you know what, I'm just gonna ride it out. So we had guys like Melvin Howley, Lance Atkins, and then I had Donnell Hill. A lot of people don't know this. I had Van Drew. Donnell was my little cousin. So I had Van Drew, and I had Marcus Hatton, the hooper. So a lot of people don't know Marcus Hatton was at Rosedale. So what happened was when I got the 11-13, 12-14, I was gonna come play with her. So Mel Rock and all us talked about it. Cheetah, all us friends. We like, yo, we gonna go play for Herb next year. That's when y'all had the yellow derby. I said, yeah, I'm gonna go play up there. Coach Andrew said, no, man, you ready for high school. I like, you sure? So, you know what I mean? That's why I wound up going to high school. But when I left, what I did was I took Vandrew, Donnell, and Mo Hatton decided to hoop because his father was a hooper. So he went to hoop. And that's how Vandrew and Donnell wound up going to Northwood.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna bring Rob in here, but the question we got for you, Coach, is: Was your greatest team that 11-13 team that went to 95 that went to Disney World? That's a question for you.
Yeah. I ain't had no great teams. All my teams was great.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna put me out there like that.
That's the question.
All my teams was great. I ain't had no greatest.
Now, Vandrew. Now, he wore number 44, I believe. Well, at that time, he had the big soldier that he used to break it a lot. I knew it's like him and Donnell Hill at that time. That's on that team. You heard them talk about Donnell a lot because he could throw with both his hands. So you gotta see the kid.
I'll get to that too.
Really got to me.
Oh, you stopped all that?
Yes.
And I mean, basically, you know what happened when we was younger.
Mm-hmm.
We was playing bone ball. Donnell had broke his right hand.
Okay.
So Donnell, you know, we played football 24/7. I was a hawk. So I wound up.
You talking about right here, G?
Yes, sir. That's the joint. I said, no, I'm gonna get me a yellow jersey, but I wound up playing.
But the numbers on the shoulder pad, on the shoulder joints. That joint was special.
Donnell broke his right.
Funny.
He broke his right hand. So I wound up, every day I would play catch with him, but he would start throwing with his left. Every day he would throw with his left, throw with his left, throw with his left. Then he got just as good with his left than what he was with his right. Now, the story about Vandrew, his mother was in the streets. I'm just put it like that. Father wasn't in his life. And it was like the community I was like one of the guys they looked up to. So I was like, well, at an early age, I was into helping people. And I seen he was fast. We used to say he got junkie speed. He was like one of the fastest people in the neighborhood at a young age. So he was around, man, Donnell and us every day. And he took to Donnell. He's around Donnell age. I'm older than him. I said, man, why don't we play football? And he ain't know nothing about football. But he started playing ball. He started getting tougher. And we went to Rosedale. They was giving the ball. He was gone. So once he got to Northwood, because he had an older sister, and it basically was him and his sister taking care of each other all the time. It was kind of a sad story. And but the football was the thing that kept him going at that time. Vandrew was real fast. He was still learning the game. When he got to Northwood, he was still learning the game. Like Donnell and them was more advanced. Donnell knew the game. Donnell studied the game. So his development of the game was a lot faster than Vandrew. Vandrew just was Donnell's sidekick. They was friends. They became like real close friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they was something terrible, man.
Vandrew was so shifty.
Yes, he was. He was like Tavon Austin before Tavon Austin.
Vandrew was so shifty.
Yeah. He
ran like he talked. He stuttered when he started talking.
Yes, he did.
Ran just like that.
Yep. He did. He had a stuttering problem, man.
Mm-hmm.
He wound up, he was in the streets. He wound up passing away from carbon dioxide poison in the house, and the carbon dioxide thing did not go off. And him and like 2 or 3 other people wound up passing away in that house. And he was a special talent. It was him. It was Vandrew, and there was another guy named Wu. Wu went to play for Rosedale.
That's my cousin. Trinell Shelton. That's his real name.
Yes. So him and Wu and Vandrew was like they was super fast. And Vandrew, like Coach Herb said, them moves he had, it was just he ran that way his whole life from a young kid. He just had them he was real shifty and fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, catch one, catch all. You wasn't catching no Vandrew, man.
That's what catch all. He
used to be grown men racing, man. He used to race grown men. He used to be grown men racing for money, man. Straight up.
That's something right there, man. R.I.P. Vandrew, man. See, and that's a lot that will go on in this town. And I'm glad y'all on here to talk. Sometimes people listen to us, well, the kids listen to us like we ancient, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I tell my son, I say, ain't nothing new underneath the sun. Y'all may do things maybe a little different, but it's still the basis the same thing. And even how y'all thinking, y'all may be having a little self-conscious about yourself. Y'all may be at the age where y'all the peer pressure is out the roof now, dealing with the phone.
The phone,
you know what I'm saying?
It. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. I tell people say, oh, the crime is so bad today, this is so bad today. Ain't nothing really changed. It's just you see it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, if it was a shooting spree in Washington State, it might just take time for it to get over to the East Coast. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, if it happened, we seeing it live. So it ain't nothing changed. It's just
right now you see
right
it.
now. That's it. Right now. And like I say, that's the biggest thing. But I'm gonna tell you one thing I heard touched on that was resonated so much is we ain't practiced a long time. We had so many life lessons, and I had a mother and father and an awesome stepmother in my life. But like things like sex and stuff that, he taught us everything. Like he broke everything down to us. You know what I mean? The stuff that you need as a young man, he gave it to us. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing off limits. Other things he do, games used to be so easy because we would come to practice one day and you would see former players in uniform strapped up. And Herb would say, let's go, man. I watched this dude play 4 years ago here, Animal. We lock and loaded. So we banging with whatever. And one thing that he always said, I don't care who we played, when kids was overweight on the other team, I don't care, let them play. I was lying. I don't care. So there was no, he didn't care, but that showed us that no matter what we about to face, we good, because her believing us, we got it.
That's what it is.
When we it was a whole lot of them overweight. Her was like, let them play. I was like, him, that nigga grown. Yeah, one dude, I swear, you don't hit the weight limit. This dude probably had to be 25 pounds over the weight limit. I don't care. Let them play. But like I say, that mentality always prepared us, because when somebody believe you the way it did, like when you talk about running through brick walls, when you talk about if he told us stand in traffic on the highway at 95 rush hour and don't move, you're gonna be good, we believe it. You know what I mean?
Because I truly believe if you hit that man, a boy your age don't stand a chance.
Exactly. Men out there. It was some men out there practicing with us. I mean, you mean some dogs came back.
Now let me ask y'all something, because we had this. We talked about this a little bit at the end last week. A coaching clinic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Coach Stan, I think Coach Stan probably brought it up first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talk to the people a little bit about that. How y'all feel about having a coaching clinic? And do you think some of the coaches here will either be open to? So a lot of people don't be open to critique. A lot of people ego is still.
No.
And that's the problem. But like I say, that's in the process. I mean, you know what I mean? That's in the process. Some phone calls have been made, some things we're working on getting that in the process. The biggest fear is not the kids coming. The biggest fear is the coaches coming. And, you know, a lot of coaches are so worried about people find out what they don't know. You cannot hide your whatever you do, the deficient in.
Right.
Like people, like I'm a defensive guy. I am an offensive moron. I don't have no problem with that. You know what I mean? But like I say, but I will sit down and talk to offensive people, and because I played offense, but I never really played offense. So I don't have a fear. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know offense, so I'm like, no. The only thing I know about offense, and Big Wayne, everybody who's ever been on offensive coordinator know, man, that quarterback, his ankle hurt, go at him. That's all I make. As far as play calling, man, I'm not stepping in the way. But a lot of people, but when you scared to be exposed, you can't be exposed when you're confident as a man. Like the first thing, I'm a man.
How about this then? Let's switch up the word exposed. Because if you come into a clinic, to learn.
Right. That's the whole point. But see, the thing is, when you come in, a lot of times we so scared to learn from him or them.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize you could go to a little league flag practice and learn something about it. You can't like my thing is, I don't care who's speaking. You can learn from everybody.
I'm still learning.
Yes, the worst coach can probably teach you something.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
But if you're scared, but like I say, that's the whole part. Like, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that when it's coming together, that we'll have representation from every school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what if we ever looking to build the product of Baltimore City, we got the coaches of Baltimore City. And what we're gonna build if people come in like and get the knowledge. Sometimes not even X and O's that these coaches need. Sometimes it's understanding people.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, or understanding administration and how to maneuver through administration. You can be the greatest coach in the world, but if you battling an admin tooth and nail, then your focus is not on the field. But if you can learn how to deal with that, you can better be able to put a better product on the field. But you got to be able to come around. You know what I mean? And on top of just learning football, we got to become a band of brothers. Some stuff that used to happen in Baltimore City that should never happen is we would give film from a city team to the county. Back before we said, oh yeah. Like we would, that type of stuff used to happen.
Yeah.
Listen, can't nobody call me about another city school. Hey, yo, Tay, we play so-and-so. What you got on them? Did you call them? No, I was trying to see if you can get, you got to call them. If you call them, they say give you the film, I give you the film. I'm not diming my brothers out. Because at the end of the day, it's us against them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with that. That's one of the major issues of Baltimore City. Let me tell you this, whenever a sanction or something that came down in Baltimore City with ineligibility or something like that, the affiliate was always Baltimore County. All the time. They would send that. Know what they would do? Say, for instance, I'm at high school A, Herb at high school B. Herb beat me. Call me and say, yo, we heard about this situation, and give it to him, and then know what that high school A do? Bam. Guess what the whole point is? The county want both of y'all out the way so they can keep walking.
Yeah.
We was never smart enough to see that. We debate every single time. They done, and trust me, they done called me about stuff. I said, oh, that's good. What that guy do with me? That's good. What that guy do with me? Even when, I remember we played Friendly, when Friendly lost all them games because they had kids out of zone. It was like, well, y'all get that win back. I said, I don't want it. They beat me on the field. I don't care if that kid lived in Mexico. They beat me on the field. He wasn't a grown man.
Yeah.
Where he lived at, I said, up to me, they can keep that win. But see, it's different when you raise different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not looking to sneak no wins. I'm not looking to sneak my way to the top. I'm not looking to create a schedule that gets me through the city easily and then get in the playoffs and get my head bust in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. A lot of folks are. A lot of folks, but that comes from the culture club. You got to understand how to create your schedule.
Okay. Talk to them.
Like that are major. How to create your play, even your scrimmage schedule is important. You don't want to go in a scrimmage and go with two heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get your heavy hitter, then you want to get something, you want to get a little confidence building. You know what I mean? How you go. Then you come into the season, your open date, you got to play something that you're not going to see. Like people realize, yo, Tay, why you playing these PG County schools and MIA schools? They preparing us for the playoffs.
Mm.
Right.
Certain schools in Baltimore City that not going to prepare us for the playoffs. So when we get into the playoffs and people say that, like at Emerson, we never lost the first round. First round was like week one. Win, lose, or draw, we got something from that. You know what I mean? When we played Friendly, had all them grown men. We got something from that. You know what I mean? When we played Mount St. Joe, we got something from that. But a lot of
Mervo don't have no success because they don't know how to plan.
Gotta plan it.
They don't know how to plan it.
Because we wasn't beating Hereford. We wasn't beating Hereford without playing C.H. Flowers.
Right.
It's the whole people don't realize, yo, why y'all screaming C.H. Flowers? C.H. Flowers ran a wing tee with athletes. Hereford ran a wing tee with just strong kids.
Right.
Ran that same offense, but
you beat them so pretty.
And that goes back to the scrimmage.
You beat them so
that
pretty.
went back to the scrimmage again. People don't realize that Hereford game was won in the summer when we scrimmaged Flowers.
Right.
Scrimmage Flowers. We don't scrimmage that high power wing tee. The strong wing tee.
Right.
Because with C.H. Flowers, you got to pick up on your key right now because them kids was boom. So if you don't read if Kyle didn't read that guard and fill that hole right now, that's 6.
Right.
You gotta have a little more time.
Right. Yeah, but
put your ass in that fire.
People don't want. They play scrimmages to win. They don't play scrimmages to prepare, to get educated.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to do stuff in the scrimmage that I would never do in a game, like go for it on 4th and 99.
Yeah.
just to put my defense back up against the wall.
Put them in the situation.
Put them in that's
right. Coach. That's coach. That's coach.
So when it actually come to that, it ain't nothing new to us.
You're ready. Like I said, you can't tell how a kid going to respond to that fire if you wait to put the fire on them in the playoffs.
Right.
when you put it on the fire on them early, then you see, okay, it's some more stuff we got to work on.
Yeah, we done been here before. This ain't nothing new.
Yeah, but see, when you scared, you always want you went in. Like I hate when people say, "Yo, did y'all win y'all scrimmage?" Win?
When you scrimmage?
Look good. I said we look good. We got stuff to work on. I don't care if they scored. If we scored 5,000 points, they scored 5. There's no in the scrimmage.
I'm still that same way today. I don't play to win no scrimmage, man. And then I think it's power. There's a lot of. I look at coaching in Baltimore City like the homeboy system.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what it is.
Because I coach youth football. I coach high school with Dante. That was it. Dante asked me to come up there, and then I went back to youth. And I get a lot of little BS offers at little schools and stuff. But my calling from God is to help the youth. So a lot of things is the homeboy system. These coaches don't know how to evaluate talent. They don't want nobody with a greater IQ or football IQ than them. So they want a bunch of yes men.
A whole bunch of them.
And this to go back, and it was about a year or two ago. Dante and them gave a camp. Remember the camp y'all gave at our Stenbridge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tay and them gave a camp, and it was only a handful of. It was a few high school coaches. I was the only youth football coach there, but it was so much knowledge in the camp. I went to everything. I even went there with Dante. Man, Dante did a lot of stuff in his camp, in his seminar. But that right there taught me something. I said, man, the people that want to learn is here, because they had the white guy from Eastern Tech that won a lot of games. He had his
my guy, Missouri. This is Missouri. I feel like Magado, good guy.
Yeah. I went in there when I went. It was just me in there. It wasn't nobody else in there. It was the offensive line guy from Dunbar. It was just a handful of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it was so much knowledge in that coaching clinic that day. I enjoyed myself too. I got stuff from Tato. Tato went over some stuff. I got some stuff from Tato. I got stuff from the guy from Eastern Tech. Everybody that there was got something. I'm like, man. And I think wasn't it a free camp?
It was free.
It was free.
FREE.
It was a free camp. And guys had so much ego. I know it all. And only about 4 or 5 people came up. And I say, some people ain't the student of the game.
No.
I'm like Coach Herb, like I'm old school. I learned the I and the power I, and I still run that stuff to this day. People are like, why are you gonna run the power I? That's what I know. The spread stuff, I might sprinkle in there, but I can't really teach it good because, like Coach Herb said the other day, that's not what I was raised on.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught football was north and south, not east and west.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach my kids hard-nosed defense, and we're going east and west. So some type of power football. And everybody want to go to the copycat stuff. They want to run the spread. They want to run the pistol. And when I came up, the only person that ran the pistol was in Nevada. Nevada. They was the only school in the country that ran the pistol for years.
That's true.
They was the only. Now everybody want to run the pistol, and they want to run the spread. And they want to run these jet plays and all that type of stuff. And they got
RPO stuff that just been around for years in the NFL. And how you gonna run that? You don't know. No.
People run what they
I don't know that.
They run what they
I own what I run.
Now look, y'all. Let me bring another school up in question. Since you spoke on Maryville. Now Maryville been rocking and rolling last couple of years now.
Rocking and rolling where?
I mean, in the city. We talking about we talking about
they
in the
supposed
city.
to beat Southwestern.
Say it again.
They supposed to beat Southwestern.
Hold up. Hold.
They supposed to beat Carver. They supposed to beat Ben Franklin.
They beat Dunbar, didn't
Dunbar should beat them too. They shouldn't even play them. Dunbar should be playing with St. Francis and them. They should be on a national schedule.
They've been on that. I'm gonna keep 100. They should have been.
But some say
10 years ago.
They say now it's harder to get the players into the school. Or they say the recruiting is down at Dunbar as far as the top kids coming from out.
I'm gonna tell you like this: when you recruit down, your coaching got to go
up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. I'm gonna tell you this: over Emerson, we ain't have a whole bunch of Pop Warner superstars, blue collar. That we had kids that walked to Emerson with no names and with being feared. So sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean? You when you can't get the diamonds, take that rock and you gotta create a diamond.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Coach.
That's just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you something to you about Merville. I'm gonna tell you something, Merville. Coach Pete told me this, and this was probably in 2000. He says, son, Merville pound for pound has the most talent every year in the city.
Yes.
The Merville coach? I said, you
Yes.
sir. And it's the when coach, and I'm about to question Coach Pete. Merville? But I'm gonna tell you this. This was before the staff is there now, too. We had we did the All-Star game, and it was a couple kids from Merville on the team. And we in this practice, and these kids are phenomenal. I said, Shorty, what school you go to? He said, Merville. I said, did you play against us? He was like, yeah. I said, there's no way what I'm seeing out of you on this week in practice that I said, yeah, coach, I was there. I was there. So like I say, the talent is there. You know what I mean? Merville, they got it.
I don't know if it's the coach. Like Merville been like that for years. Like, you know, man, back in the day, my father went to Merville. Merville been like that for years. They're a big school. They get a lot of kids. I don't want to question nobody coaching. I mean, who am I to question somebody coaching? But like Coach Herb said, who do they beat? When they get to the playoffs, they're not prepared for the playoffs because they don't prepare their schedules and things and scrimmages and things to prepare for them schools that they got to play.
Oh, with that.
Dang.